There you go.
Yeah.
Right. How long does it last, your film?
So I'll get
Okay.
If you were born female rather than male in Britain today, you are statistically far more likely to live in poverty. Why do you think that is?
I think, you know, for all the equality and achievements that we've had in the 20th century, women getting the vote, the pill, you know, equal rights, there's still clearly a disparity between the sort of money that men get for a job and women get for a job. There still is a glass ceiling, and we haven't really addressed that. You know, women's prospects are hampered. You know, they're obviously, you know, childbearing is perhaps the most important thing that anyone can do, male or female. And very often women lose their position in the company and lose their job. You know, if they're having a baby, they're not having their brain removed. So a lot of work needs to be done by men who respect women and respect their aspirations.
Next question. Do you like how our high streets look? What would you change?
I think if I could change the high street, I would have more local stores, less international conglomerates.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the sort of town I like to see with a lot of, you know, without getting all you know, League of Gentlemen about it, local shops.
Yeah.
But you know, but equally, you know, I know that is a cliche. There's a lot of sense in that. If you want a sustainable ecology, to have locally produced stuff available, it helps the economy and it cuts down on you know, food miles and stuff like that. So I'd like to see that sort of thing.
Cool. Has immigration affected your life in any way?
Incredibly, it has, yeah, because it made me grow up to appreciate people of other cultures. You know, a big influence on me growing up was black music, particularly the music of the Caribbean. Artists like Prince Buster, like the Scatolites, like Bob Marley, I would never have heard were it not for immigration to this country. And I really do love the curry, you know, and were it not for Indian immigration, I would never have had a chicken madras on a Friday night, and some, you know, some poppadoms and onion bhaji. So yeah, but just the quality of our life, you know, a society that is not diverse will ultimately decline, I believe. You know, diversity is what keeps us interested, keeps us alive, keeps ideas coming.
Okay. 80% of the Earth's ancient forests have already been destroyed or degraded. How do you feel about that?
Very bad, very bad. Everyone knows that plants clean the air, how ridiculous it is to chop them down. We kill ourselves as we kill our environment.
And would you change your lifestyle in any way to slow it down?
Oh, well, I'll try. You know, I would love an electric car. You know, if I could get an electric guitar, you could put an amplifier and 2 guitars and drive them elastically, get in and get out again. I'll buy one tomorrow. I'd love to cut down my air muscles. I hate flying. I fucking hate it. But at the moment, unfortunately, you know, I've done about 100 gigs this year, and without an airplane, I'm in trouble. But I am aware of that, and I do try and, you know, I do as much recycling as I can. You know, trying to live.
Does Britain need a monarchy?
No, no. It could work just as easily with an elected president. You know, I have to think that once the present Queen dies, the sort of respect that people have for the monarchy will perhaps die with it. I don't think people will be so willing to just transfer, because I mean, people respect the Queen partly because she's the only Queen we've ever known. I don't know how old you are, but you know, I'm 50. She's always been there. She's always been on the coins in my pocket. So in some ways she's sort of ubiquitous, and because of that, you can't take it for granted. But when it changes, then I think people will start saying, you know, we really need this. I mean, Queen Camilla. Come on, guys.
Is Iran a threat to the UK? And is it inevitable that we will bomb Iran? How much play do you think will be given?
No, Iran is not a threat to the UK per se, no. But peace in the Middle East would be desirous and would help the UK, because I think the problems in the Middle East make it very difficult for the Muslim population, British Muslims, to feel part of things here. You know, when people murder their fellow citizens on the underground in the name of Islam, you know, your average Muslim in the street is appalled by that and gets shit for it. So, you know, peace in the Middle East will help address that. So I would very much like to see that. And no, I don't think it's inevitable that we will bomb Iran. Nothing is inevitable.
Should we legalise cannabis?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we're going to live in a society where we allow people to decide to smoke cigarettes, when we know that cigarettes kill. You know, I think with something like cannabis, which is a much less nasty drug and heroin and crack. I think we should allow people to make their own decision about that.
Can you name the owner of the Times, the Sun, Sky News?
Yep.
And do we need to change our laws so that any one person cannot own?
I think we do. I don't think it's good that people own that so much media because they dictate in some ways the daily news agenda, and governments are, you know, in some ways pushed along by them. Clearly, some of the things that the Labour Party done of late have been to appease the Daily Mail. That's appalling. So the only things that the government should do is to connect with their own voters, the people who voted. You know, nobody voted for Paul Dacre. Nobody voted for Rebecca Wade. You know, they shouldn't have that kind of power yet. It's a tough one because you want freedom of the press.
Yeah.
You want the press to be able to criticise, but they're beyond criticism, beyond, you know, questioning the government. There's a form of cynicism that ultimately is the enemy of all of us who want to make a better world. It's a thing behind racism. You know, racism is a form of hyper-cynicism. You know, capitalism relies on cynicism to exploit people. Ultimately, conservatism is a kind of sort of organised cynicism. This is our real enemy, and unfortunately, the Daily Mail and the Sun and other newspapers go beyond just criticism. They go beyond just holding the government to account, which is very, very important in democracy. They actually pour piss on the people trying to do the positive things, and that's cynicism, and that's our biggest enemy in trying to make a better world.
Of course,
You're on that.
Yeah.